I hope this doesn't seem too scattered. I had a lot of thoughts this morning as I was meditating on the Lord's Supper. You're aware that there are 4 Gospels, right? And that 3 of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, have a lot of the same stories in them. Even though they have a lot of the same stories, each Gospel is written specifically to preach different kinds of messages. They emphasize different things, include or leave out different kinds of things. And then you open up and you get to the Gospel of John, and it's like a different planet. It's like, is this even the same guy? I can't even imagine it. So there are very few things that all 4 Gospels have. One of the things that they all have, however, is the Lord's Supper. But the Lord's Supper in John looks radically different than the Lord's Supper in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. He has a specific focus. Now, the eating of a meal in the ancient world, thus the taking of communion, is a covenant initiation rite. A covenant is a bonding of 2 people, a bonding of groups of people in commitment and loyalty to one another. As a matter of fact, the ancient Christians were captured by some Romans and tortured to give up the secrets of their church services, all those mysterious things they got going on in there. And one of them confessed that weekly they took a bread and wine oath of loyalty to Jesus. All that to set up that John takes this whole Lord's Supper thing and he turns it into a great testament. The testaments were the stories in the ancient world when a dying father or a dying leader left to his children his parting words, his parting commandments and dictates for how they should live after his death. So Paul gives one of these to the Ephesians in the book of Acts. David gives one of these to Solomon as he lays dying. These are throughout the scripture. So John turns the Lord's Supper into this massive testament of Jesus, leaving instructions for those who are bound to him in loyalty. Now, I want to read a little bit in the beginning of it. It says, now before the feast of Passover, right, there's a whole big Passover thing going. If anybody's ever noticed that Jesus is both dying on Passover and celebrating the Passover with his disciples several days earlier, that's not a contradiction. You have to come talk to me about it. That's too much to go into right now, but it makes perfect sense when you understand the battles that were going on at the time in the religion of Israel. Now, Jesus is going to do something as part of the Lord's Supper that is so telling for the kind of people that he wants his followers to be. And he's going to do this very simple act. He's going to get undressed, put on a cloth, and wash their feet. That's the action. Very simple. He's going to put off his garments, his outer garment. He's going to put on a towel. He's going to wash their feet. Now, this is the job of the lowest servant in the house. If you broke a dish that week, your job was washing all the guests' feet. They come in with camel dung and dirt and grime from the street, and you wash the feet. Now, they're halfway through this meal, this Lord's Supper meal, and nobody has washed anybody's feet. There was no servant there to do it. Their tables are low. Their feet are in each other's faces. Nobody's washed anyone's feet. So Jesus, the Master, the Lord, is going to take it upon himself and says a whole series of what's called adverbial clauses. That means this action took place, but it took place in a very specific context. Jesus, knowing that his hour had come, that he would depart out of this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. During supper, the devil having already put it in the heart of Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands and that he had come forth from God and was going back to God, got up from supper, laid aside his garments, and taking a towel, he girded himself. And he's going to wash their feet. Now, this whole thing, Peter's going to be like, no way, this can't happen. You're the Master. Jesus, knowing that he was God, who came from God and was going to God, was going to do the job of the lowest servant. Jesus, knowing that Judas was betraying him, is going to wash his feet. Jesus, knowing exactly who these people are, knowing that Peter, because he's going to go on, he's going to have a conversation with Peter. Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times. But then he's going to speak about his restoration. When you're restored, build up your brothers. Knowing all of these things, sitting at this supper table with them, he's going to wash their feet. So I asked myself this question. We're going to take communion today. We're going to take the cup, and we're going to take the bread, and we're going to swear a loyalty oath to Jesus, but we're also going to swear a loyalty oath to each other, because that's the way these loyalty oaths work. You are swearing an oath to your master, and you are simultaneously swearing an oath to all those who swear an oath to your master. And so I ask you myself, as I take the bread and the wine, what do I know? And knowing it, will I still swear loyalty? Knowing those who have done me harm, knowing your imperfections and my wonderfulness, knowing how imperfect we all are, knowing how many people have done me wrong, knowing that I have every human excuse in the book to not swear loyalty or to be loyal to the people that are around me. Knowing that, can we take the bread, take the wine, swear our oath to Christ, swear an oath to his people, and say, I will do them right. So as they pass out the bread and wine, we take a time to meditate and think. Ask yourself, how am I doing with the Lord? How am I doing with the Lord's people? Make it right. Get right. So the taking of the bread and the wine, the sharing of a meal in the ancient world, was the making of a union. We go out to lunch with each other to tell each other how much we hate each other. To them, to break bread with a person was to bind yourself in covenant to them. You could not share bread with a person and then rise up to harm them in any conceivable way. They were safe from you. You were safe from them. You ate one loaf and you were made one by it. And so in the communion cup, we make ourselves one with the Lord, and we make ourselves one with one another, to be true, to be loyal, to love one another. So take the bread, body of the Lord, and say, Lord, thank you for what you've done for us. May we be unified in our devotion to you. Take the cup, symbolizes the shed blood of the Lord for us. Say, Lord, thank you that you shed your blood to purchase forgiveness and mercy for us. May we be true to you, true to each other. If you like what you're hearing today, please subscribe below, and don't forget to share it on as many platforms as you can, and tell your friends to watch. Thank you.